So I'm going to share my screen with you. And I am going to leave the slides at the side there, just because when this is recorded, you won't see it all. So I know it's a little bit unpretty for the eye, but it's the best way to do it. So last night I mentioned that beliefs are completely made up. They are not real. And I was driving in my car earlier and this intuitive thought popped in and I was like, that probably wasn't the most helpful statement by itself to make. So I've decided to kind of give you some stuff around that this evening. I wasn't planning on doing this. It's something that came in this morning. So to further the statement I made last night, limited beliefs are made up. Okay, so any belief that limits you in any kind of way, and your feelings will indicate which beliefs are not great for you. There's a little hint. They are made up. They are based normally in fear, created at some point before the age of around about 7. You may hear some people say before 12, but most of them, the core ones, are created before the age of 7. And they are there to keep you in your comfort zone. They're there to protect you. The problem is when you have goals, dreams, desires, business ideas and ventures that you want to transition into, they can become blocks. And not just in business, they can become blocks in any area of your life that you can think about: health and fitness, relationships, career, money. Anywhere where you can have a belief, there may be limiting beliefs there. So if they're blocking you, the great news is you can overcome them. And the way that Jen Sincero, and I think that's how you pronounce her name, explains it in her book, You Are a Badass at Making Money, she writes, your external world is a mirror of your internal world. If you can make yourself believe the thoughts that are screwing up your financial situation, not just financial, any area of your life that you want to think about, then it is because i.e. I can't make money because of X, Y, Z. I'm not good enough. I'm a single mom. I don't live in the right area. I don't have enough time. No one's going to want to listen to what it is that I have to share. The marketplace is too saturated. There's not enough money in the world. Nobody I know will want what I do. Limiting beliefs. You can make yourself unbelieve them too. So if you can make yourself believe your thoughts, you can make yourself unbelieve them too. And she goes on to write, this is how powerful we are and how deceptively simple changing our lives is. We can literally create the reality we desire by making ourselves think and believe what we desire to think and believe. And that's why we need to unpack our limited thinking and beliefs when we get to a point in our lives where we're stuck and we're not making progress forwards. Okay, and that's what we go into detail with when you have private coaching with me, when you read a book like Jen Sincero's You Are a Badass. She's got a few books out there. So what we're doing when we are rewriting your limited beliefs is we are actually rewiring the neurological pathways in your brain so that you can start to identify as the person that you want to be. You can start believing in the person and the life that that person starts to create. You can unlock skills and capabilities that you might be sitting on at the moment. They might be dormant in there, and you can start to create, from shifting your beliefs, a life that is in actual alignment with you. Does that make sense? Everyone got it? It's not simple. It's simple, but it's not easy, I should say. So yesterday I asked you all if you wanted to, as part of the homework, so that you're actually getting something from these 3 days, to start asking the universe for signs around your businesses, around your side hustles. And I want you to remember, if you've listened to anything that I've said before around spiritual signs, you hold the power with that sign, okay? That sign doesn't have any power over you. You give the meaning to the signs. It's a co-creation with the universe. And yesterday I spoke about the ladybird that had been on my window. This morning, wasn't there last night. This morning I was getting ready and Casey goes, "Mummy, the ladybird's back." And it was on my banister in my on my landing. And I went over to take a picture to post into this group, and it literally, it was out of focus. It flew over to the window, and instead of just being on the window where it would normally be, it flew out the window. And I thought, do you know what? Good, because that sign's for me. Your signs from the universe are not for anybody else to have to believe or agree with or understand. You give the meaning to the signs that you get. If it is back tomorrow morning, I will be taking a picture though. I'll be just like very fast this time. So 2 people have messaged me today to say, "Oh my God, Naomi, I got my sign from the universe." And they were both to do with their businesses. So I'm going to read to you what the first person put, and then I'm going to tell you what happened for the other person. And this isn't to like impress anybody. This is to help impress upon you that shit actually does start happening when we start to change the way we're thinking and when we open the door to the universe to co-create with us. So, okay, my sign has come from the universe after we asked the question in yesterday's session, and today has been a massive springboard into my best life, which is that I'm planning to drop 1 day from work, and I've started off the conversations today. It was a bit nerve-wracking, but I have only been met with support and respect. Whilst I don't have an answer yet, we get the guided steps as we go. Whilst I don't have an answer yet, it all feels and sounds positive. And she's done like a little meditation emoji. And also last week, I think I've had a breakthrough, which is I think I've found the name for my business. And I'm not going to share that with you because I'm going to let her do that herself. And then the other person that messaged me this morning had been hearing the words in her meditations, specific words around the side hustle, the business that she's going to be doing. And it's been going around her head for so long, and she's so not against, I don't want to make up words. She's so surprised that this would be the suggestion that's come in, because it's not something she would see herself doing. And today somebody else said those words back to her in the exact way that she's been hearing them going around her head for the last few months. So that was brilliant for her as well. Just letting a couple of other people in. That was brilliant for her as well, to get that clarification, to get that sign from the universe. If you have just joined us, for some reason, I've managed to send out my personal link for this Zoom. So if that's you and you've just joined and you cannot see your name in the list of people at the side, please can you just type into your name into the chat, just so that I can keep an eye on who has been present, not because there's any points, but just because I want to see Zoom links, how they work, etc., so I can make it better next time. So has anybody else got anything to share in terms of signs from the universe that they've asked for? If you do, just put your hand up or pop it into the chat. Hi, Jane. Lovely to see you. Someone is connecting to audio. I don't know who that is.
That was me.
Oh, was it? Yeah, there's somebody.
Sorry, no, I couldn't get on.
No, don't be silly. That's fine. I've somehow managed to give everybody my link for this Zoom call. Who knew you could even do that?
I certainly didn't.
I didn't either. I'm going to mute you, Jane, just in case it goes on in the background you don't want us to hear. Okay, cool. So moving on then tonight. Oh, someone's put something in the chat. Hang on. Oh, Leanne's under my name as well. I got this morning. Yeah, that's fine. We live and learn, right? So tonight, let's start moving on to what I want to talk about, which is creating a plan. So the promise tonight was that we're going to be creating a solid time plan, a solid time scale, if you like, for you to get from where you are now to where you want to be. And you're going to need your journal or something like that when you go back and reflect on this after this meeting this evening. So I'm going to share with you what happened for me, what happens for a lot of people, and hopefully that will help you answer the questions that are in the workbook. So when I first began my journey towards transitioning into coaching, all I really knew was that I wanted to be a coach, a speaker, an author, and I wanted to be earning good money. Okay. And at the start, that was all I kind of really needed to know. There wasn't really much padding around that. I knew I wanted to work with women rather than men, although I do work with some men now. I knew that I wanted it to be quite spiritual. I knew that I wanted it to be about manifestation, but there wasn't much meat on the bones because I needed that first bit just to get me started. As that has evolved, and I answer this question for myself quite regularly, what do I want? Which I believe is the most important question that you can ever ask yourself. In small situations, in big situations, it's really important to know what it is that you actually want. And yesterday I spoke about how you use your mind-body connection to check in with whether you're in alignment with what it is that you think that you want. So if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it later. Now I know that my goal, alongside being a coach, speaker, author, earning good money, is to be happy, to be real, to be in my truth, to be aligned, to be brave when I need to be brave. Because if you're starting your own business, you're going to need to be brave, empowered and kind. And I've actually written in my lovely doctor's handwriting, I should have been a doctor because it's that awful, an entry from my journal when I was answering the question, what do I want? I'm not very good at spelling, right? So if there's any spelling mistakes in there, just have to forgive me. So I wrote out when I was calm, when I was centered, when I was answering this question, I want to be real. I want to be brave enough to be myself. I want to be honest with myself about what I want, because to be out of alignment with that, to please others, hands up if you ever don't do what it is that you want to do because you're pleasing other people and what you think that they want. Yeah. Because to be out of alignment with that, to please others, fucking sucks. Sorry if there's small children in the room, and is a waste of your fucking life. Okay. So this is what was coming through to me. The most important relationship that you will ever have is the relationship that you have with yourself. And the only way to have a relationship with yourself is to do work around that by answering great questions. I call it taking a look under the bonnet. Like we're doing this, we're like, what's inside? I want to get to know myself, what's really going on. The worst thing, not the worst thing you can do, but something that's very, very unhelpful and going to be very frustrating for you in life is if you start setting goals and you start working towards things that you're not in alignment with. Okay. Now, the one thing that you will never have is complete certainty, but you can minimize uncertainty by doing the mindset manifestation work before you start making moves. Now, on your journey, things are going to start altering and you'll get a clearer picture of where you want to go and what you want to do. But from the starting point, the most important thing you can do is to get into alignment with what it is that you truly want. Now, the way that I didn't do this before was because I was so scared about being a coach and putting myself out there. Who am I to coach people with their life when I don't even know what I'm doing half the time anyway? I'm not a multimillionaire. I don't have a big following. I don't have all the answers. Well, lucky for me, coaching isn't about having all the answers. Coaching is about helping other people get to their own answers, which I'm pretty frigging good at. So I was in imposter syndrome, I was in fear. And so instead of starting a coaching business, which by the way, I actually went to university at around about 18 to, no, probably around about 20 to become a life coach. And after 3 weeks, like shit myself and left. I'm now 35 and I started my coaching business properly 2 years ago. So that was a lot of time wasted, right? I shit myself because I was in so much fear and I didn't believe in myself. And instead I set up a beauty business. Now, I don't think that anything is ever actually wasted, because the women that I met and ended up coaching as I was doing their beauty treatments anyway, and the contacts that I made and the maturing that I did and the growing that I did and the personal development that I did, the issues that I faced have all helped me get to where I am now. But my reality is, do I sometimes sit and think, what would it have been like if I'd have had this advice at the age of 20? My life would probably look very different now. What is it they say on Love Island? It is what it is till it isn't. So I want you to really start thinking about what your values are around what it is that you want to do. And in private coaching, we spend a good 1 to 2 sessions getting absolute clarity on your values, because with values as well, sometimes we can have values that contradict each other. And I'm going to talk about this more later on this evening, but it creates something within us called duplicity, where we've got 2 sets of values that actually contradict each other. I'll give you an example. So if somebody is looking for a relationship, a romantic relationship, and because of being cheated on in the past or seeing their parents' relationship fail, they may value honesty and good looks in a relationship. Okay, right? You want your partner to be attractive to you and you want them to be honest, right? But if you've had a situation before where all the good-looking men or women cheat because they can, you've got this belief inside you that you can't have your 2 values together. Well, we manifest based on what we're in alignment with. So if you're not in alignment with what you value, how successful do you think you're going to be with that manifestation? You're literally blocking yourself, because the universe is always responding to what we are in alignment with. It's one of the universal laws. Make sense? Good. Are we learning new things that we didn't know before? Good. Okay. Let me just check there's nothing else I wanted to say on that before I move on. So in your journals, and if you don't have one, I know that Jen, you won't have one. I say it's a journal, it's a downloadable workbook, so you can just screenshot this. It will do the same thing for you, but I will send it to you. So day 2, we're getting clear on what we want, and we're also getting clear about when we want to achieve this by. Okay, so I want to be a multi-millionaire doing my side hustle 2 days a week by this time next month. How many people believe that that's true, like that can happen? Probably not many. I don't really know anybody that's created that either. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it's not my experience, right? When we grow too fast, it doesn't work anyway. So what we want to do is we want to set SMART goals. And I know SMART is used across a load of different platforms, but there is a specific NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, way to set SMART goals. And I'm going to run through with that with you now. And then what we can do when we've got the end goal and when we want that to happen by, we can then start putting the steps in between about what we need to do to have that happen. And on the next slide, I'm going to give you some more information about that. So what is a SMART goal when we're looking at it from an NLP perspective? So a SMART goal has steps required. Okay, if there aren't any steps required, then it's not really a goal, it's just something on your to-do list. Okay, and that's fine as well. Like, I'm not making that wrong. It's just not a specific goal that's going to stretch you, that's going to take you to your next level. A real goal has time involved. Now, one thing that very evolved human beings do is they know that sometimes times have to be altered. We have to be flexible. But from a manifestation point of view, when we want something to happen, we need to be as specific as we can. Okay. So there's steps involved. There's time involved. I don't know why there's another S there. I must have just wanted to put that in. It needs to be specific. It needs to be measurable. So how do we make sure it's measurable? Well, if we just say, I want to be really, really happy, how can we measure happiness? Okay, because think of the last time you were really, really, really happy now. Just go inside now. Think about the last time you were really, really happy. Hopefully it was like at the start of this call. You can feel happy just by tapping into the last time that you felt happy. Okay, happiness is a state, not a goal. Okay, so we need to make sure it's measurable. How are you going to be able to measure the thing that it is that you want to create? And your goal needs to be for yourself only. Okay, the reason for that is not because when you reach that goal, your family aren't going to benefit from it. Of course they are, hopefully. But the only person that you have ultimate control over is yourself. Yes, Pearl. Did you mean to do that or not mean to do that? Oh, type it into the chat for me because you're muted and I can't unmute you. I love Zoom. Next time I'm doing it on Facebook, it just seems to be easier. Okay, so that's what we want to do with a SMART goal. And I'm just going to check something. Okay, SMART goals need to be specific and simple. Okay, they need to be measurable and meaningful to you. I'll slow down. I stands for as if now. So you need to be able to put yourself into a state where you can act as if that's happening now. Another way to put that is you need to be able to believe that you can actually reach that goal. So if your goal is to become the 6th member of the Spice Girls, this is the example I was given, it's probably not going to happen. It's probably not very achievable. Your goals need to be realistic and they need to be responsible. So we don't want to set goals whereby us getting what we want, what we desire, other people have to suffer. And they need to be timed and towards what it is that you want to create. Make sense? Good. Hopefully this is sparking some inspirational thoughts within inside you. Okay, so I haven't put this in the workbook. So this is a really good page to take a picture of because it's not in there. Something that I've literally just added this afternoon. So if you want to take a picture of that, please do. So once we've got our goal set up as a SMART goal, we then want to start identifying the stuff that we've already got within us and outside of ourselves that's going to be useful. Okay, this is part of your solid time scale. You need to start looking at what you've already got, because what we tend to do is think about all the things that we haven't got and all the things that we do need and overlook the fact that we've got a lot of skills. If you have a desire, it's my belief that you must have the capability to be able to get to it. I don't believe that God hands out desires for no reason. So you want to start looking at items that you already have available to yourself. And this might be, you might already have the skills that you need for your new business or side hustle. I'm going to guess that if you've got a desire for business or side hustle, you've got some kind of skills. Now, it doesn't mean that you might not need to further those, because personal development and learning is ongoing, right? Most industries change and evolve. But what items do you already have available to you? When you're putting your business out there, you're probably going to be wanting to like have friends and family start telling people about it. Social media. Is there a gap in the market that your skills and capabilities can fill? And then you want to look at your internal resources. And I'm going to bet my bottom dollar that you all have a desire, because there's no other reason that people would sit on this Zoom call. Or you're just not going to do it unless you've got a desire within inside yourself. I'm going to guess that you've got drive, you've got inspiration, you've got focus, any of those internal resources that you know you have. When you're doing this exercise, now is your time to blow your own trumpet and really go all in on the internal resources that you have. And don't forget that if it's a feeling, you can create feelings quite easily. Okay, yeah, no problem. That's absolutely fine. Whoever's just put that into the chat. Oh, it's Jane. That's all right. I'll send it to you on catch up. Then we want to look at others that can assist us. Hello, I'm here. I can assist you, right? Who else do you know that can assist you? Well, there's women sat in this Zoom call now that have businesses and side hustles, and they probably have access to some resources that you don't. So connect with people that you know that are on a similar path or have already walked the path that you're looking to walk. And then things that you need to find. That one might be very obvious. So you might need a premises for your new business or side hustle, or a space in which to work. So they might be more practical things, or they may be internal stuff. I need to find my confidence. I know it's in there somewhere. There's just some limiting beliefs blocking it at the moment. Okay. Is that helpful? So just to be clear, first of all, if you haven't watched last night, go back and watch last night about how you tune in with your mind and body to see whether you're in alignment with what it is that you're thinking about, or a situation that you might be in. Then what you're going to do once you've got more alignment is you're going to start answering the questions. What is it that I want? When do I want to achieve this by? What steps need to happen between now and then? You're going to go all in on those questions. And at the start, there may not be a lot there. Once you get going, that's when things start to become made more clear. And then you're going to start identifying the resources that you already have. Okay. So again, last night I shared with you Soph's success story, Katie's, Hannah's, Natalie's, and Nikki's. Okay, I'm not going to spend loads of time on these again. The thing that these women all have in common is that they got into alignment with what it is that they wanted to create before we started making steps towards that. Okay, they all worked on their minds and their bodies. That was the foundation. Then they started looking under the bonnet about what was actually in alignment and important for them. And then they started answering the question about what it is that they want. Most of us know what we don't want. A lot of the time, people don't know what they do want. And this is your opportunity to start getting clear about that. So when we are out of alignment, when we create a plan that's out of alignment with the unconscious and deeper parts of us, we manifest out of fear or limitation. So that's what I was doing when I was creating this successful beauty business, although it was doing well. And yes, it's been of benefit because we're always building upon. I was in an energy of fear and limitation. And this creates duplicity within us, as I mentioned earlier. So earlier I was like, how do I explain duplicity in the manifestation sense? I'm sure we all know what it means. So I did what any intelligent person does, and I Googled it to have a little look about what it really means. And I love this definition from the Webster.com dictionary. So duplicity comes from a Latin word meaning double or twofold. And its original meaning in English has to do with a kind of deception in which you intentionally hide your true feelings or intentions behind false words or actions. Okay. So if you are probably unintentionally, not intentionally, but if you are hiding your true feelings, even from yourself, through your words, thoughts, and actions, that creates a certain vibe within you. That creates a certain negative emotion or feelings within inside you. And we manifest from that place. So do we see why it's so important that we really get to know ourselves, that we really check in with what our values are, that we really make sure that we are aligned with what we truly want before we start setting out on what it is that we want to do in our business and our side hustle? Why this is of vital importance. When you do it and you're out of alignment, it's very difficult. I think it's Denise DeField Thomas gives this example. Duplicity, or when you're fighting against yourself inside from those limiting beliefs, from those fears, is like having a dog and telling it to come and then telling it to stop. No, come, no, sit. No, come, no, sit. The poor dog is just confused, going backwards and forwards. And that's what we're doing to ourselves when we're out of alignment with what it is that we truly want. And it really does feel like you're stuck when you're there. And people do it in their business, people do it in their relationships, people do it with their fitness, with their nutrition, with their exercise, because it's this uncertainty, because they haven't taken the time out to look underneath the bonnet and see what it really is that they want from life. Any questions at this point? Good. Cool. So I am going to ask my sister to share a link into the chat now that is for an application if you think that you might want to take this journey further with me. Now, all this is not for you to be signing up. We want to make sure that we're a great fit for each other. But it's for you to start knowing what I offer after these 3 days is up, alongside the content on YouTube and social medias and other stuff that I do. So for private coaching with me for 3 months, if you're interested, just fill in the application. You are not signing up to anything. Don't worry, I'm not going to pounce on you. But if you do that after this and like before the weekend, when I'll wrap this up with the prize draw, what I'm going to do for you, just for you, like requesting some information, is to give you an exercise called Your Purpose. So if you're sitting there and you're still like, I need some more help with my values, I need some more help making sure I'm in alignment with what I really want, then fill in this application form for private coaching, and I will send you information about that, and also an exercise that you can do by yourself. And I've done that as well for selfish reasons, because I want to make sure that I'm taking on coaching clients that I feel like I'm aligned with their purpose as well. And I'm aligned with what it is that you want to do and can really help take you forward. So my prices are on there. There's 2 options to pay. It's £2,000 if you want to make 4 payments, £500 each, just to do the maths for you, or it's £1,500 on the 1 pay. And what we do is we have a weekly one-to-one where I take you over the 3 months through the Naomi method. And the Naomi method, I've taken my own name. So N stands for where are you now? Where are you now in terms of what's going on in your life? Because we can only go from where you are. We need to take a look under the bonnet and see what's going on. A is all about getting into alignment with what it is that you want. And we don't just necessarily look at your career, we look at all of the areas of your life because they will impact each other. And the limiting beliefs that we play out in one area, we tend to play them out everywhere. O is all of the healing work. So it's about overcoming the stuff that's keeping you stuck at the moment. So we use timeline therapy, values work, belief work, inner healing work. I've got loads of different methods for how we overcome the blocks that you've got. And that's the rewiring of your neurology. And then M stands for me and movement. So we look at what you're doing, what you need, what's good for you. And then I is when we create your ideal plan moving forward. So it takes around about 3 months to do all of that. You also get in with that a group monthly coaching call, and the coaching call in July, I have no idea of the date. Leanne, do you know the date off the top of your head? Got so many dates in my world. This month we're focusing on the 12 laws of the universe, or 12 universal laws. You get 24/7 WhatsApp, email or messenger support. You get my Level Up Your Life course worth £250. You may have already done that course. That course is a brilliant starting point for people, but the real results are in private coaching with me. And what I tend to do whilst we're working through private coaching is I use that, and I might use modules or guided meditations from that for you to use whilst you're inside those 3 months with me. I have 100% success rate with all of my private clients. There is not anybody that has been through the coaching that hasn't got to the result that they've wanted to create. Now, I'm not saying that's all wrapped up in a bow done, but we know when we have completed it and we're on to the next thing that we want to create. Thank you. Leanne has said that the next group Zoom call is the 21st of July. Again, those are all recorded and put into the private client portal for you to access. And as I say, if you want to fill out that form before the weekend, I will send to you your purpose exercise. So even if you don't sign up for coaching with me, you'll have that exercise to do and get more clarity in your own time. Thank you for allowing me to share that. So for the prize draw to win these tarot cards, I'm going to do the draw on Sunday, either at 10 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock at night. I know that's very weird, but that's the way my day is planning out. So I'll decide on Sunday and I'll do that on social media, and then whoever wins, I'll be in touch. The words that you need from day 1 and day 2 so far, nobody told me that I spelt identity wrong last night, is identity and aligned. So note those words down if you want to go into the prize draw. And tomorrow at 7 p.m. on Zoom, made it to 45 minutes, guys. I'm really proud. Recognize what's really holding you back. Now, before I wrap it up and let you go back to your lovely families or whatever it is you're doing tonight, does anybody have any questions about tonight's call or any technical stuff that went wrong for them in terms of watching things back? Let me know. And has that link gone into the chat? All right. Yeah, good. Right, you've all got access to me via WhatsApp at the moment. So if you need to ask anything and you're not wanting to ask it in front of anybody else, please do contact me. I hope and I trust that tonight has been very helpful for you. Thank you ever so much for your time. Naomi Bryan, whoever that Naomi Bryan is, because there's enough of them in this room, says thanks. You are very, very welcome, Sonia. You're welcome. Fab, have a lovely evening. I will see you back here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. and we're going to start looking at what's really holding you back. Have a fantastic evening. You're welcome, Jenny. Bye, everyone.